which doesn't work. And we know multivitamins don't work because the science shows us in every study that has ever been done on multivitamins. So, how do you then go about determining what a healthy diet for a dog is and how to obtain a healthy diet for a dog? It's actually more tricky than people think, because I deal with, most of my job is dealing with people with health issues, or animals with health issues, rather. Sometimes the people start calling me about their own health issues,
it's very
but
similar.
I start dealing with people with their animals with health issues.
Right.
First thing I say is, well, what is the diet of the animal? And then inevitably they say, oh, well, it's not the food. He's been on the same food for 6 years. Well, it is the food, actually, at that point then. Because a mammal's, this is great because a mammal's, this is a great evolutionary tool in terms of mammals evolving, but we're very, very good at storing nutrients and going without nutrients for long periods of time. That's why people can eat totally unbalanced diets and be relatively healthy and their body can function, right? Yeah, and so, but it's not great in the case of our dogs, because a lot of times when we find out, it's too late, right? You know, you have an 8-year-old lab who seems to be fine, and then 3 weeks later you do an x-ray and he has, you know, tumors all over his body. A lot of times we find out it's too late because they can't tell us what they're experiencing, and I think animals, hi, you want some of this kombucha, huh? I think animals have a different way of dealing with pain than humans do in terms of moving on. In fact, on that note, one of her teeth fell out last night, and she's like, oh, I don't care. I just woke up in the hotel and there was a tooth in my bed, and I was like, oh, all right, there's your tooth.
How old is she?
She's 8.
We haven't eaten.
And so all we can do is look at their ancestral diet, because what people don't really realize is, so Lua is 99.8% genetically similar to a gray wolf. Her digestive system is actually even closer than that. Dogs vary slightly in their ability to digest starches, and that's only very, very slightly. It's a 0.03% difference, which doesn't mean they thrive on starches. It just means that they can survive on starches. So all we can do is look at the nutritional properties of food, look at what their biological needs are, and then that is the best shot we have in terms of feeding dogs and cats. You can look at their body. You want to make sure they're in good shape. You want to make sure there are physical signs that you can see, like with their skin and coat, and you know, how they're acting and stuff like that. But it's definitely not the end-all, be-all, you know, especially not when they're young. If your dog is like 2 years old, I don't care what you feed the dog in a lot of cases. A lot of times their body is functioning so well that they're going to be healthy. This is the same reason why most studies, when you look at raw-fed dogs compared to kibble-fed dogs, they actually have about the same health attributes up to about 4 or 5, and that's when they split directions. Which makes sense, because when you're a teenager, you can eat anything, and you're totally great. You know, you've never been better, you know?